All right. Hi there, I am Lauren Strand,
And I am Alistair Pugin.
and we're here for another episode of 365 Unplugged. So, jumping into it, the topic that I want to talk about today is the Microsoft Learning emails. What do you want to talk about, Alistair?
No. You do not get to talk about the same thing that I want to talk about. This is not how it works. We need to prep. We need to prep to make sure we don't talk about the same stuff.
That undermines the point of the video.
No, that doesn't.
So,
Yeah. All right. So
all
what
right, let's
now?
get into it. So the Microsoft Learning emails or the education emails, what are these? These are effectively emails that Microsoft was going to send direct to end users about how to use the products. So Planner and Forms and all these kind of things. So a series of emails were going to be sent out direct to end users. There was a bunch of uproar about it, people saying, oh, we don't want this. And Microsoft has decided to roll that back or not to deploy it. Personally, I don't think they should have, because there was an opt-out feature. So if you have an uproar, flick that switch. Problem, averted. What do you think, Al?
So I love the idea of Microsoft pushing out content to end users. I think it's great. They're going to have to generate a bucket load of content directed at end users, right? So one, were they prepared to do that, or were they just going to regurgitate what is on docs.microsoft.com and whatever other YouTube channel that they might have? So for me, it wasn't so much do we push it or don't we push it? Did they have a plan?
Well, I think, and that's things we don't know the details because it's been retracted so quickly. But see, there's been a number of conversations I've been involved in where people are saying, oh, Microsoft should simply make, change managers have the awareness of this, or partners have the awareness, or give the opportunity for IT admins to do it. And I've been having a number of conversations with people, and the reality is, if you're a change manager or if you're an IT admin that knows about this feature, you are not the target. That's the thing, is Microsoft is not there to cut your lunch or do your job. If you don't know about this, then you are the target, because that means your users don't know about it. Because there's so many customers that I speak to that are still using SurveyMonkey instead of Forms. They're still using Trello and Asana instead of Planner. They're using Dropbox instead of OneDrive. And on and on. Now, there may be legitimate purposes for it, but a lot of the customers I talk to, it's lack of awareness. So if all of a sudden they're going to start getting emails from Microsoft saying, hey, did you know you've got access to this and this is how it works? This is a good thing. What do you think?
Three things. Number one, if you are a highly regulated industry, why would you go, and we had a debate about this, turning all things on or turning all things off and then gradually introducing it. Now you're going to get that Me Too-isms, that culture of Me Too-isms. And that's everyone coming to IT saying, hey, we've seen this cool thing. It's a cool feature. Can we have it now? So, boom. All of a sudden, you can't do a staggered rollout of the product. Two, invasion of privacy. Now, think about the GDPR, right? I'm an EU citizen, and I work for a company with 3,000 other EU citizens, and all of a sudden, Microsoft is sending me emails. Now that implication comes in where it says, well, I have the right to be forgotten, do not spam me. And that's the third thing, right? Spamming. How much are they going to do a roll-up? Look at the Office 365 message center, right? You get a plethora of notifications. So are you going to be able to say, well, organically, this product is going to move, so it's going to grow. So now instead of getting one email every day, you get a roll-up of emails once a week. And then I can add a fourth one, failure to filter, too much information. All of a sudden, this week you get Flow, next week you get Planner, the following week you get Power Apps, and business just goes crazy because they've been asking for these things, and all of a sudden they have it.
Yeah.
So how do you prioritize?
I think very valid points. I think probably a couple of them, to jump back on that would be, in terms of invasion of privacy, you are already in a Microsoft data center. It already knows who you are. So there's probably something that says Microsoft may email your users from time to time. We don't know what the scheduling would have been like. We don't know if it was based on what you're licensed for or everything. There's things we don't know the details, because even the mere concept of it got such an uproar. And the thing that I equate this to, right? So when BPOS came out first, who were the people that complained the most? The hosters. Because all of a sudden Microsoft was cutting their lunch. It was taking away their business. It was doing what they did directly. And so, they got up in arms. And then also SMB consultants and IT pros who were saying Microsoft is running the service for us. We run servers, and all of a sudden now Microsoft's doing it for us. So they cut their lunch. So who was the next round of people who were then complaining about Microsoft going direct? Well, it was actually people like me with Fast Track, because all of a sudden Microsoft started saying, we will onboard you for free. We will do the work that partners do for free. I built a successful business around it. So yeah, I was a little bit upset about it. Eventually I kind of went, okay, well, you do that stuff. That's boring. I don't want to scale at that. I'll pivot. And so then we're starting to see now with SharePoint is getting easier. So there are some, internet in a box companies will potentially suffer a bit. We've talked about this before, as will just SharePoint consultants, again, in previous conversation. And similar with change managers, they will suffer a bit. But the thing is, they're not the target. Microsoft is targeting the customers who aren't doing anything. That's the point of these emails. And I come across so many customers who don't understand what change management means, who have only done Exchange, or that's their first cab off the rank and they don't know what to do next. So I think for that chaos you talk about, I actually prefer that. I think we need, for those customers that don't know what they're doing, controlled chaos. Give them stuff and then they'll have to react to it.
So I agree with you. The opt-in option where global administrators can untick the box, no, do not mail my end users.
Yeah.
Now, interesting statistic, right? At the beginning of this year, we had a company by the name of Neural Impact come out to South Africa to teach our technology companies, the traditional Microsoft partners, to change their business from a tech business to a solution business. So sell into an industry vertical, sell a branch management solution to banks, sell clinical trials to pharmaceuticals. They had a stat that said, and I quote, 41% of all Office 365 customers are anonymous. So that's not a partner coming in, onboarding a customer to Office 365. And the reason why they said that was because we're in the era of the anonymous buyer. You go to YouTube, you research something, great, you go online, you buy. So everyone swipes a credit card, boom. So if Microsoft has got 40% of their user base not having a partner to teach them about all of these products, everything that they want to do right now makes complete sense.
Yeah. And that's the way I look at it, is if you are a change manager, advise your customers, if you're a partner and you want to make money from this, advise your customers to turn it off. Control the conversation. If you are an IT admin who's across this, turn it off. Again, control the conversation. If you don't know what the hell we're talking about, this is for you. And that's the point. So I don't, there was some of the discussions that I was having with people over the last few days saying Microsoft should educate customers or should give people the opt-in and should, help with creating content that change managers could use. Get it. They've done it. I think we're in an era where we're kind of at a point where, I'm sorry, Mr. Nice Guy finishes last. If you don't turn these services on and get customers using them, and don't educate them about them, they'll just go find something else. And all of a sudden, we're moving over to Slack because we got used to it, because we didn't know Teams existed, and so on and so forth.
I, for one, support our Microsoft learning overloads, right? Think about it this way. That 40%, we don't know about. We do not know about. As consulting services businesses, we don't know about. 40.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. 40% are using Office 365 without a partner.
Yeah.
And it's probably bigger because a partner might have gotten in there and done one workload, Exchange in the cloud. And now all of a sudden, no one else is there because they say, thank you very much, that's all we want. And when do they get a SharePoint? When do they get anywhere else? So Exchange in OneDrive. But whenever I introduce Matt Wade's periodic table, I'm actually doing it tomorrow to teach my company about Office 365. People look at me like, wow, do we have all of that? And I'm going, yes, you have all of that. Oh, what does that one do? What does that one do? And then these people light up. I mean, I pitched an employee engagement solution to a business, and the only thing they knew about was SharePoint. The only thing they knew about was SharePoint. They didn't know about Staff Hub. They didn't know about Teams. They just knew about SharePoint. They wanted an intranet for employee engagement. And when I showed them Staff Hub, Teams, Kaizala, the world went crazy. These people sat there, and if there were wheels on their chairs, they would have pushed it back and they would have fallen over.
Yeah, and that's the thing that what I see is this is an opportunity for educating end users and end customers on what they don't know, which is actually what I spend a lot of my time doing. Because similar to that, a lot of them don't know about all these little features in there. So, okay, if all of a sudden it does create chaos, good, at least now you know, and now you're going to do something about that. You're going to come up with a roadmap. You're going to work on governance. You're going to work on education and change management. You're going to do something. But otherwise, if this has started occurring, yeah, I'm sorry, you are the problem and this needs to be addressed. But everybody else out there, they need to take a chill pill. Flip the switch off. But unfortunately, none of us can flip the switch off because there was that much uproar that Microsoft has now decided to suspend this. So we'll see. My understanding is from a little bird that this was never actually intended to be global, as in terms of it was aimed at smaller customers, not necessarily all the big corporates and enterprise and educations. So it probably would have been a phased rollout. So I think maybe someone slipped with it and it got a bigger audience than it should have. But anyway,
can we register a user voice and then get votes for this? Then they will listen, right? So 100,000 votes in 24 hours, problem solved. We'll get it back.
I think to summarize this video, you and I are in violent agreement, but sounds like disagreement with everybody that went up in arms about it. So hopefully this has helped raise some points.
Well, if you're confident that you can deliver against the services in the Office 365 stack, you would definitely want this to roll out.
Very true. Very true. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with it now.